Welcome to the Inspiring You Show. If we've ever met, I'm Henry. This is the Aries Partial Solar Eclipse, a sacred threshold of completion and embodied courage, mindfulness chat. So, friends, the Aries Partial Solar Eclipse is happening on March 29th, 2025, and it marks not just a celestial event, but a profound energetic milestone. It's an evolutionary turning point, friends, that signals the culmination of a cycle that began in April 2023. That's right. This cycle began in April 2023. And so think of it as a soul level graduation, a rite of passage that reveals how far you've come on the path of conscious awakening. So, with that, my friends, let's just take a moment to take a deep breath. Close your eyes, lower your gaze, and take a nice deep breath. Take a moment to look gently inward, my friends. So, just thinking back to April 2023, the last 2 years, what truths, what light truths are just beginning to stir within you? What light truths are beginning to stir within you, particularly in your relationships, your self worth, and how you claimed space in the world? And then take another deep breath. And if anything did surface, my friends, if you wish, there will be an energy healing meditation that will be connected to this talk as well. So feel free to do that, or if there's something else that calls to you, make sure that you are supported and you are taking care of yourself as well. Because y'all, this has been a really there's been a lot that I don't know about for you, but also for me, my clients, I have witnessed so much shifting this month, and so just make sure to take care of yourself. All right, let's just talk about the solar eclipse and the new moon in Aries. You really want to mark your calendars, March 29th, and the solar eclipse will begin. It's 1:50 a.m. Pacific time and will reach its peak at 3:47 a.m. Pacific time, completing its journey around 5:43 a.m. Pacific time. While only certain regions will witness this cosmic event, including the northeastern USA, New York, northward, also Denmark, parts of Europe, Russia, and Iceland. Its repercussions really touch all of us. And if you are in areas that you can see it, just a reminder, never look at the sun without proper eye protection and never use regular sunglasses to observe the sun. It is never safe to look directly at the sun's rays, even if the sun is partly obscured, because that contains harmful ultraviolet, UV, and infrared rays that can damage your eyes, retinas, and even cause blindness. So, the only safe way to look at the sun is through specifically designed solar filters. Also, using solar eclipse glasses for direct viewing and solar filters for telescope and binoculars. All right, so this eclipse is not just an astrological event, it is a cosmic initiation, a threshold between who you've been and who you are becoming. So, this eclipse really invites reflection, not through judgment, but really through sacred witnessing, through compassion. It holds up a mirror to the inner work you've been doing, often quietly, sometimes painfully, especially around the themes of authenticity, relational alignment, and self sovereignty. So, have you noticed a shift in who stands beside you or in how you navigate connection in the last couple years since 2023? Have you released patterns of people pleasing or self abandonment in favor of healthy boundaries that honor your inner truth? And you still can do so with loving kindness and compassion and mindfulness. So, check in and do some reflection on this. Also, Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, speaks to rebirth, courage, and the fire of individuality. And as this eclipse, my friends, lights up the sky, it also illuminates the subtle energetic threads that have been quietly unraveling over the last 2 years. So these threads tied to outdated roles, expired relationship contracts, and versions of yourself that no longer resonate. So, what has been cleared was never meant to stay. What remained has likely been tempered by fire and truth. So, this moment is not only about endings, but it's also about reclamation. You're being invited to honor the internal shifts that have shaped you, to recognize the inner authority you've grown into, and, my friends, to stand in a new frequency of self leadership. The Aries eclipse is not just a closing, it is a beneficial portal of pure light potential. So walk through it with intention. Walk through it as the most honest, embodied version of yourself. Because what lies ahead requires the fullness of your light, the fire of your courage, and the clarity of a heart aligned with purpose. So, since April 2023, we have been journeying through the powerful axis of Aries and Libra, a transformative eclipse cycle designed to awaken deep truths in terms of who we are and how we regulate to others, how we relate to others, or it could be regulate. How we relate to others. This this energetic this energetic thread has not only illuminated our relationships but also challenged us in many ways to examine the mirror they hold up to our evolving identity. So, under this cycle's guidance, many of us have been called inward or to really reassess the balance between self and other, where we've been overextending, hiding, or diminishing our truth to keep peace, where we needed to reclaim our space, our house, our right to exist fully in our own energy. This has not been a surface level adjustment, it's been true soul work in connection with the human. So, for some, the path has required courageous conversations, endings, and boundary setting. For others, it has sparked a gentle unraveling, a quiet but undeniable pull toward deeper authenticity and more conscious connection. And now, with the wisdom that hindsight brings, really taking a moment to see, can you see your transformation? Can you witness your transformation? Maybe you find yourself navigating relationships with more clarity and intention. Maybe you're noticing how much more rooted you feel in your light truth, even in the presence of others. Maybe you've begun to trust your inner voice more deeply and allow the inner alignment to guide your outer choices. This eclipse cycle has been less about fixing and more about remembering who you are at your core and choosing to show up in your relationships from that place. So it's an evolution of self awareness, a maturing of the heart, a return to your center. As we approach the completion of this chapter, really letting yourself take sacred pause, acknowledge your growth, honor the boundaries you learn to hold, the truths you've had the courage to speak, and the ways, my friends, in which you've begun to love yourself more wholly in the presence of others. This is the healing, the medicine of Aries and Libra, fierce authenticity and sacred balance with connection. You've been walking that path. You've been walking this path, my friends, one aligned choice at a time. So, with this, then, it's really then this Aries solar eclipse is this threshold of integration, alignment, embodied confidence. As the final eclipse in this Aries Libra series, the Aries solar eclipse on March 29th offers a sacred culmination, a threshold where the inner work, shedding and expansion of the past 2 years crystallize into clarity. This is not just an ending, it is a recognition of how far you've come. And it's a doorway into new, more aligned chapter of conscious connection and self-expression. The eclipse carries the energy of initiation, but it is an initiation born from integration. You are no longer who you were at the beginning of this cycle. You have met yourself in the mirror, of your relationships. You've listened to the quiet voice within, and you've likely been asked to choose alignment over approval and light truth over comfort. Now a new path reveals itself, one that honors the full expression of who you are, a path where your authenticity is not compromised for connection, but instead becomes foundation of it. This Aries eclipse activates the inner fire of self leadership. It encourages you to trust your instincts, to speak and live your light truth without apology, and to show up in the world with renewed confidence and coherence. The relationships that now emerge, my friends, or deepen or they're deepening from this space are likely to be more nourishing, reciprocal, compassionate, soul aligned, because they're rooted in the wholeness you've reclaimed within yourself. So, with that, my friends, let's take another deep breath. Take another breath and allow yourself to feel this moment. Acknowledge the work that you've done. This is a celebration of your resilience, your growth, and your unwavering return to your light truth. Let this be a moment of sacred pause. If it feels supportive, write it down. How has this cycle transformed your relationship to yourself? Where have you reclaimed your power, your voice, your right to choose differently? Let your words become an offering, an honoring of the path you've walked, and a prayer for what is now unfolding. My friends, you are not the same. You're more you than ever. And this is just the beginning. So, with this, then, this Aries solar eclipse arriving on March 2025 is far more than a celestial checkpoint. It's a powerful energetic gateway. This moment serves both as a culmination of inner evolution and it is a cosmic opener, my friends. It is a cosmic opener. It is a gateway that is opening. It's inviting us to consciously step into a new chapter with clarity, courage, and heart centered intention. So think of this eclipse as an ignition point. You've gathered wisdom, you've shed skins, you've stood in the fire of self discovery. And now, with that fresh surge of Aries energy, the universe hands you the torch and is asking, where do you wish to go from here? Where do you wish to go from here, my friends? Take time to answer these questions. This solar eclipse, this solar eclipse is supercharged. This solar eclipse is a supercharged new moon, carrying the vibrational frequency of renewal and possibility. But unlike typical new beginnings, this one is infused with fire, Aries fire, the spark of creation, boldness, and unapologetic self light truth. This is not about surface level resolutions. This is about soul aligned intentions. So, this is about soul aligned intentions. Soul aligned intentions, my friends. You're feeling them from the heart. They're being downloaded by your soul. They are soul aligned intentions that emerge from your inner knowing. So they're not just surface. So take some time to really meditate and go within. Here we're being asked to set intentions just for what we really are in terms of our beingness. So the intentions are not just for what we want to do. They are not a checklist. We're being asked to set intentions for how we want to be, our beingness, especially in relationship with ourselves. So, are we willing to show up in ways that reflect our evolution? Can we meet others from a place of wholeness rather than old wounds? The energy of this eclipse is forward moving, freeing, revitalizing. It offers a much needed breath of fresh air after the emotional depth stirred by the earlier blood moon eclipse. Where that eclipse asked us to surrender and transform, this one is asking us to take inspired action from a place of integration. I will say though, it doesn't mean that you're fully cleared yet. You could still be, because we're also clearing karmic cycles. I feel like this week I've been in a little bit of a washing machine, like where I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, when am I going to get to the end of this, of this, of this tumbling session in the washing machine? I feel like I'm in the rinse cycle. Um, yeah, so it's a grand clearing. But with that though, let yourself remember and feel the momentum rising. Doors are opening, perhaps in ways you didn't expect. So stay curious, stay open, and most of all, stay connected to your inner fire. This is a moment to plant seeds, not from fear or urgency, but from the knowing that you are ready, ready to live more truthfully in terms of your light, ready to love more authentically, ready to walk forward with full strength of who you've become. The path ahead is being cleared. Now is the time to choose it intentionally, courageously, and with your heart leading the way. So, the Aries solar eclipse is arriving, then, my friends, with this energy of new beginnings, bold momentum, and inner awakening. But beneath is this empowering threshold lies a river also of karmic heat. This is not just surface level shift. It is a full body invitation to meet the deeper layers of yourself with honesty and compassion. Aries, ruled by Mars, is bringing this fire to the forefront. It fuels action, passion, courage. But when ungrounded, it can also ignite emotional validity, making you feel emotional, and it can have your emotions in that volatile state. So that's why you want to use mindfulness and process your emotions and make sure you're grounding too. Because you may then notice frustration bubbling to the surface, old irritations resurfacing, or an inner tension that feels like it has nowhere to go. This eclipse may awaken parts of you that are no longer willing to tolerate disconnection, dishonesty, or disempowered patterns, whether within yourself or your relationships. But here's the deeper light truth. Underneath the flame of anger often lives unspoken grief, unacknowledged fear, or yearning for control in an uncontrollable world. These raw emotions are not here to derail you, they are here to liberate you. If you feel the intensity rise, don't suppress it. Instead, create a sacred space for it. Let your body move, let your breath release, let your heart speak. Emotions are messengers of unmet needs and unhealed places. Let them guide you to your truth, not define you. So let them guide you to your light truth and not define you. This eclipse is an initiation, not a test. It invites us to release the illusion that we must hold it all together or manage the outcome. Instead of resisting the discomfort, you're being invited to transmute it. So, if you need to, ask for support. I just did a mindfulness chat yesterday talking about how I asked for support several times. And if anybody listened to that episode that I'm talking about, and you heard the story of my aura ring, I will say, yes, I did receive the support from aura ring, and yes, the problem has been resolved. And that was after I let it go, and I had no idea the timetable. I just let it go. I asked for support, and then I let it go, and then now the problem has been resolved. So ask for support, ask for clarity, ask for the strength to meet yourself with radical light presence, even in the heat. So, with that, then, my friends, the Aries fire wants you to move forward, but with intention, not reaction, with embodied confidence, not ego driven urgency. So, let this eclipse burn through what no longer supports. Let it illuminate the places within you that are ready to go for deeper liberation, and let your path forward be led not by force, but by the fierce grace of your soul's wisdom. And just remember then, during this Aries solar eclipse, it's common to experience heightened sensitivity, irritability, or frustration, especially as deep emotions or unprocessed patterns rise to the surface. You may find yourself less patient than usual or suddenly unwilling to tolerate behaviors, dynamics, or expectations that once felt manageable. This isn't random. It is your system signaling that something is shifting, that your soul is asking for greater alignment and authenticity. Your human deserves it. Perhaps you may feel irritated in a conversation where someone interrupts you or dismisses your needs. And this time, instead of brushing it off, you feel that inner fire rise. Or maybe you're noticing a pattern in your relationships where you've been overgiving or silencing yourself to keep the peace. And now that just doesn't feel sustainable anymore. These are not just mood swings. They're intuitive nudges from your energy body inviting you to reclaim your voice and reevaluate what you're available for. So it's an invitation, reclaiming your voice and to reevaluate what you're available for. However, as these fiery emotions surface, especially under the Aries influence, we must be mindful of how we engage with them. Aries energy can make us reactive, pushing us into blame, defensiveness, or outbursts if we are not grounded. That is why it is essential to create safe, supportive outlets to express and process what's coming up. So, here are some powerful intentional ways to work with these emotions. One, doing energy work, energy clearing, Reiki or dowsing sessions, or whatever energy modality resonates. And you can do a mindfulness meditation or use time to scan your body and notice where you're holding tension. Breathe into those areas, allowing the breath, allowing if you use Reiki or loving presence to support softening the edges. Movement, physical expression can help move energy. Try going for a brisk walk, dancing it out, doing a few rounds of shaking or embodied shaking, trauma informed movement. Let your body release the charge. Voice release. In a private space, try humming, sighing, or even letting out a primal yell into a pillow if that feels right and it's safe for you to do so. Your throat chakra may need clearing, especially if you've been suppressing your truth. You could also do chanting meditation, that can really be helpful. Journaling, write freely about what's frustrating you, not just the surface level issue, but what it reminds you of, how long you've been holding it, and what you truly need. Creative expression. Channel the intensity into painting, poetry, or any other creative outlet that allows your feelings to take form and be seen without judgment in a space of compassion and love and kindness and presence. Because what matters most, my friends, is presence. Meeting your emotions with loving care, kindness, honesty, and grace without making yourself wrong for having them. Emotions are not the problem. It's how we relate to them that determines whether they heal or harm. So, this eclipse is offering a profound opportunity to clear what's been simmering beneath the surface and to choose a new empowered way forward. But the clearing can only happen when we pause, feel, and release what we're carrying. So, if you feel the fire rising, listen, let it guide you inward and offer yourself the space through it, not against it. And so then taking that time to reflect before you leap as well. Because as the Aries solar eclipse unfolds, it arrives within a uniquely introspective cosmic backdrop. Both Mercury and Venus are moving retrograde, gently urging us to slow down, reflect deeply, and walk forward with a sacred intention. So, in the presence of these retrogrades, clarity is found not by charging ahead, but by looking within and looking back. This is a moment when the universe is whispering. The past holds keys to the future. The past holds keys to the future. Old conversations, former relationships, past decisions, even long forgotten dreams may resurface, not to derail you, but to guide you. There may be gold in your personal history that now is ready to be reclaimed and integrated. This eclipse is not about rushing forward or grasping for immediate answers. Instead, it invites more of a mindful approach, one of curiosity, patience, inner listening, allow yourself then to observe recurring patterns, particularly in communication, relationships, what themes are showing up, what have you outgrown, what is trying to evolve. With Mercury retrograde, the mind may also still feel foggy. With Venus retrograde, with Venus retracing her steps, the heart may feel tender or uncertain, so misunderstandings can arise. Emotions may speak louder than words, but this is not a flaw in the energy. This is part of the alchemy. You're being asked to feel more deeply. Remember, one of the energy theme forecasts of this month is also the intuitive heart. So you're being asked to feel more deeply, go into the heart. But just remember, pause before responding and to discern what is really light truth from what is simply reactive. Give yourself permission to slow down. This isn't the time to rush in terms of commitments or final declarations. Let the energy of the eclipse settle. Let your nervous system breathe. By the time the lunar cycle matures, clarity will begin to crystallize. So think of this cosmic moment as a liminal space, a sacred pause between what was and what will be. Trust that what's surfacing is a part of your unfolding. Be still enough to receive it. So you let yourself do a guided reflection meditation rooted into the wisdom of the past if that resonates with you. You can begin with the breath. You can sit quietly, bring awareness to your breath. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting the breath travel into your stomach, and then exhale fully through your mouth. Do this a few rounds, grounding your energy, settling into your body. Begin with the breath. And then, if it feels right for you to do so, place your hands on your heart. You can do Reiki hands too. And then, if your eyes are closed, taking another deep breath and then feeling the warmth of your palms. And then asking inwardly, what part of my past is asking to be seen or honored right now? What part of my past is asking to be seen or honored right now? And what am I ready to learn from or finally release? What am I ready to learn from and finally release? Take another deep breath. And then offer compassion and gratitude. Silently say or out loud say, thank you for what you've taught me. Thank you for what you've taught me. I honor this experience and I choose to move forward with more clarity and wisdom. I honor this experience and I choose to move forward with more clarity and wisdom. Take another deep breath. And then you can seal it with intention. And if this resonates with you, you can affirm, I trust in the timing of my journey. I move forward with grace and intention. Take another deep breath. All right, you can let go of the posture if you did that with me. So you can also do more reflection with journal questions. Here's a few of them. If you are in my Patreon, I am going to put up a whole Aries Solar Eclipse reflection toolkit. That will be for the paid Patreon members. So here's a few of the question though. What situations or emotions have been repeating in my life lately? What situations or emotions have been repeating in my life lately? What might they be teaching me? What might they be teaching me? Is there a relationship, memory, or past decision that keeps resurfacing in my awareness? Is there a relationship, memory, or past decision that keeps resurfacing in my awareness? Have I made peace with the version of myself who made certain choices in the past? Have I made peace with a version of myself who made certain choices in the past? What part of my story have I been resisting? And what would happen if I honored it instead? What part of my story have I been resisting? And what would happen if I honored it instead? And then where have I grown the most in the past 2 years? Let yourself really answer this. Where have I grown the most in the past 2 years? So let yourself take some time. So, with that, my friends, the full journal questions will be on the Patreon. And then here are also, there's going to be affirmations and intentions too, because it will be beneficial to do an intention writing session for the end of the month coming into the new month. So, here are a few affirmations. You can repeat them with me, or intentions. You can repeat them if they resonate with you. I honor the wisdom of my past and trust the vision of my future. I honor the wisdom of my path and trust the vision of my future. I'm no longer available for what drains me. I choose what nourishes me. I'm no longer available for what drains me. I choose what nourishes me. I trust my instincts and lead with authenticity. I trust my instincts and lead with authenticity. I give myself permission to evolve and to be fully seen in my truth. I give myself permission to evolve and to be fully seen in my truth. If you hear something in the background, that's my dog. Sounds like she's having a bit of a dream. My emotions are sacred messages. My emotions are sacred messengers. I listen, I feel, I release. My emotions are sacred messengers. I listen, I feel, I release. I'm open to aligned relationships, courageous actions, and new beginnings. I'm open to aligned relationships, courageous action, and new beginnings. And take a nice deep breath now. And so it is, my friends. And so it is. So we are going to wrap up this talk.